What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Deadly Little Christmas. So this is a movie that I have known about for quite a while, and I've wanted to watch it for quite a while, but I never got around to watching it because this movie is out of print. You can't get it online anywhere, and for the longest time the only eBay listing that I could find for the DVD was like $50, and that's a little out of my price range. Pretty much my limit on a DVD or a Blu-ray is around $20. Like, you won't catch me spending 50 on a DVD. I don't care how rare it is. I don't care if it's the best movie ever. $50 is $50. That's crazy. So I was browsing eBay one day and I saw that this movie was listed a lot cheaper. It was like $15, so I immediately cashed out. This was quite a few months ago, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep this on the shelf and whip it out during the Christmas season and drop a review. So here is the DVD. This is like a brand new DVD pretty much. So yeah, there's the little front action. You got the back. Very nice. So yeah, like I said, I've known about this movie for quite a while, and the way that I found out about this movie is pretty much the same way that I found out about a lot of different, like, random obscure Felissa Rose movies. So there's this YouTuber, his name's Morbid Moonlight, that's his channel name, and he has this one playlist. It's called the 31 Days of Felissa Rose, where he went through and he did pretty much almost the entire filmography of Felissa Rose. He reviewed pretty much all of her movies, and I would watch that playlist on repeat. I would just, like, I don't know if other people do this, but I would watch those videos over and over, and I was so intrigued. I was so curious to see some of these Felissa Rose movies that I had never heard of, because I'm like obsessed with the Sleepaway Camp series. So I didn't even really know, up until a couple years ago, that Felissa Rose was in all these kind of different, weird, obscure movies, and I'm like, I gotta see these, because I'm a huge Felissa Rose fan, and they seemed like kind of, like I said, kind of weird, niche, interesting films, and I like stuff like that. Like, I like rare movies. Like, this is like an artifact. Like, this junk was, this was hard to get. I mean, I just bought it on eBay, but I mean, it was hard to get it for like a decent price, so I like stuff like that, where it's like, I don't like it if it's too easy. I gotta hit him with like a little Tupac line there, but yeah, I don't like stuff if it's too easy. Like, I like these like rare movies. It's like an adventure getting them. Most of the time they suck, but it's about the journey, not the destination, baby. So yeah, I like getting these rare movies, adding them to the collection, checking them out, because it's like, I mean, there's like barely any videos about it. So yeah, shouts out Morbid Moonlight. That guy, he makes great videos. He did some like videos on the Halloween franchise as well. So yeah, shouts out Morbid Moonlight. That Felissa Rose playlist, I watch it on repeat. It's fantastic. It's a great bit of programming. I respect it. So anyways, jumping into oh yeah, before I jump into the plot summary, gotta share my thoughts, my raw, unfiltered thoughts about the movie. So I'm just being 100% honest. yeah, I did not think this movie was good at all. I was like I checked out completely. I was, I watched the movie in one sitting. I watched it last night, and I was watching the screen, but like mentally, I was just checked out. Like this movie was not good. It was not it. So yeah, my overall opinion of the movie is that pretty much kind of sucked. So there you go. But anyways, um, oh yeah, and before I get into a plot summary, gotta hit you all with a fun fact, just to kind of just to give you some further clarification, further background on the film. So, like I said, I sought out this movie because Felissa Rose is in the movie, but I also found out that this movie was produced by David Sterling, who I know for a fact he produced the first two Camp Blood movies. I think he might have been involved in some of the other entries, but I'm not entirely sure. But I know for a fact he did produce Camp Blood 1 and 2. And I watched the first three Camp Blood films over the summer, so um, that kind of piqued my curiosity about this movie as well. So yeah, I feel like that's like a notable thing to mention. You got the Felissa Rose connection, but also the David Sterling connection. Those are like the two notable names attached to this movie. But anyways, I'm very long-winded so far, so I'm gonna jump into the plot summary before this video is like 8 hours long. So, okay, the movie starts out with this 8-year-old boy, Devin, and he walks out of his house. He's holding a bloody knife. He's covered in blood, and this is, just after his father and the housekeeper were killed. So everyone assumes that he killed them, and he is sent to a mental institution. He stays there for 15 years. Then he escapes, and after he escapes, there are all these killings that are taking place, and there's this killer is wearing a red mask and picking off people, and everyone assumes that Devin is the killer. So there you go. That is the plot summary. So let me see. Okay, so jumping into my positives first. Here's the deal. I mainly bought this movie because the Felissa Rose connection, and in a lot of these like obscure out of print movies where I'm buying it for Felissa Rose, like I'll buy it and she'll barely be in it. Okay, luckily Felissa Rose was in this movie quite a bit. She was one of the main characters. She got a lot of screen time, and once again, her performance was good. That's what I respect about Felissa Rose. She'll be in these like, just being honest, like kind of like shitty movies, but she always like takes it really serious. She always like goes hard, and I respect that because like you can tell she just has a love of the game. She just loves acting. She loves getting opportunities. She's not like a snob with it. She's like, oh, like I'm so grateful for this opportunity, to be in this movie. Like what a fun opportunity. Like, oh, I get to work. I get to do my thing. Like I'm gonna go hard. Like she could be in a movie with a $1 budget, and she would still like, give it her all and give like the best performance that she could give. I mean, probably not a $1 movie. I mean, at this point, she's got to get paid. She's got kids. She's got to pay the bills. But like she's not like a snob with it. Like, oh, this shitty movie, or this, like, she's like, oh, this, they want to work with me, they're asking me to be in this movie, like, I'm gonna go hard. So I respect her, and I think she did very well in this, and we got to see a lot of her. So yeah, the this movie did not disappoint in terms of, you know, Felissa Rose, you know, being a part of it. You know, because like when I see Felissa Rose on the cover, I see Felissa Rose in. Like I expect her to be a major part of it. A lot of the time, you get kind of like duped. You know, it's like they just use the name to, like, I've seen countless movies where they'll put, you know, like a famous actor or actress's name on the cover, or they'll put their picture on the cover, and they're just using that to like sell the movie, and then that person is in the movie for like 1 minute, and I feel like a sucker. Like I feel like I got robbed. I feel like I got tricked. It was not the case in this movie. Like Felissa Rose was in the movie quite a bit, and like I said, her performance was pretty darn good. So that was nice. And then another positive that I would like to get into is, you know, I want to give a shout out to David Sterling, because even though I did not like this movie, and like in my opinion it sucked, you can tell David Sterling is a huge horror fan. He's got love for the genre. He's got respect for the genre. It even says it, this little thing on the back. So it says, produced by David Sterling for horror fans. Oh wait, the delivery on that was off. Produced by David Sterling for horror fans that long for the slasher films of the 80s, such as Friday the 13th, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Don't Open Till Christmas, and Christmas Evil, comes the scariest slasher film of all, Deadly Little Christmas. So, you know, that kind of sums it up. Like, even on the cover, the front, where it's like, there was Halloween, then Friday the 13th, now the scariest day of all. You know, I mean, the camp, you can tell with the Camp Blood films as well, those are, you know, of course, homages to Friday the 13th. You can tell David Sterling, he's a huge horror fan, and he's doing his thing. He's out here making these movies. I don't love all of his movies, but, you know, like, I don't gotta like his movies to respect what he's doing. So I definitely respect what he's doing. He's doing his thing, going hard, and you know, he's definitely a big fan. He's not doing, it's not like on some sellout stuff, like he's doing this just for the money. Like he has like a love of the game as well. So yeah, shouts out David Sterling. Now getting into the dislikes. Here's the deal. Being 100% honest, besides seeing Felissa Rose in this, besides her performance, everything else about the movie is bad. The look of the movie, the camera quality, the audio quality, the story, the kills are not great. The characters are just so forgettable. I don't even recall like most of the characters' names. So yeah, yeah, besides Felissa Rose's performance and seeing her, like, it's fun seeing her initially. Other than that, everything else about the movie is not good. And, you know, like the kills, so of course this is like a low budget effort, so you could give the kills a pass in some instances, but, you know, like Camp Blood 2, that was, you know, David Sterling was involved in that. He produced that as well, and the kills in Camp Blood 2 were like way better than the kills in this, and that came out like way before and seemed like it had a lower budget. So yeah, the kills in this were just, they were bad, and since the kills in Camp Blood 2 were better. Like I felt like, what's the excuse? Like this seemed like a bigger budget movie, and you would think like so many years later they would have more resources, or they would, they would have like honed their craft. But yeah, the kills in this were not good, and they were worse than, something like Camp Blood 2. They just looked like so fake, like so cheap. There was like one throat slit that was cool, but other than that, yeah, the kills were not good. And the thing is too, like, since this movie, this movie was like, it was pretty much a Halloween ripoff, but it was set on Christmas, and I like homages, but it was just like a blatant ripoff, and you can look past bad quality if the movie is doing something fresh, if the movie is unique, if it's entertaining, if there's, memorable characters. Like a movie could have bad audio or not the best visuals, but like if it's interesting, it's interesting. This movie, I can't look past all the bad technical stuff, because just, like I said, the like the entire movie is bad. Like there's nothing interesting going on. There's nothing fun about it. There's nothing memorable. It's just, it feels like just like a cheap ripoff. So yeah, and that's the thing too. I feel like with the movie being a ripoff, it almost sets itself up to be a failure, because here's like I said, an homage or a little like wink and a nod, that's one thing. But if you're like totally ripping off the big boys, like the big franchise movies, it like it puts it in your head, like like as a viewer, you're thinking of those, like those big name movies, and then it kind of like inadvertently makes you compare this to those, and you're just like, it just makes the movie seem like even lower quality. Like if they would have just done their own thing, I wouldn't have even thought to compare it to, something like Halloween. But since they, they like boasted on the cover, like, there was Halloween, there was Friday the 13th, now the scariest day of all. Like, that's a bold claim. Like, come on. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they didn't say some bold stuff like that, or, like blatantly rip off the best horror film of all time, I wouldn't think, like it makes me think of that movie, and it just like makes me think of how inferior this movie is. But if this movie just did its own thing, I wouldn't be thinking about Halloween. I would just be thinking of this movie by itself. So I think that was another kind of downfall of the movie. But yeah, those are my main dislikes, and yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Deadly Little Christmas. Even though I was pretty negative in this review, like I said, still big shouts out to David Sterling, big shouts out to Felissa Rose, shouts out Morbid Moonlight. I don't want to be a hater. I don't want to be like an old head, just guy who hates everything on here. That's not my style, but I'm just keeping it honest. So there you go. But I hope I wasn't too much of a negative Nancy. But anyways, jumping into my recommendation, I would not recommend Deadly Little Christmas. Like I said, it's hard to get anyways. For like in most cases, you're gonna have to pay a pretty penny to get this. So even if you are a Felissa Rose fan, I think her performance was good, and it was cool seeing her. But I mean, she's in so many movies now, and you could just watch one of her, if you don't want to watch one of like her big name movies like like of course like Sleepaway Camp or Victor Crowley, just watch one of her new like more indie movies and you'll get your fix. So yeah, I would not recommend Deadly Little Christmas. Don't be like me and go on eBay and buy it. But I'm happy I bought it. I'm happy I finally got to watch it. So yeah, that has been my recommendation, and that has been my review of Deadly Little Christmas. Thank you all very much for watching, and peace out.